I'm going to be chatting about LinkedIn, the benefits of having a professional portfolio on LinkedIn, and how it can actually help you get a job going forward. Alternatively, if you're not looking for jobs, it's how you can grow your own business and how you can make a success of your professional career going forward. You guys are in a very lucky position where the fact is you're still students, so there's a great opportunity for you to take your career very seriously from the word go. So too many people out there are only realizing the full potential of the platform now and trying to backdate it, and they've missed out on a huge opportunity. So it's a social network. Everything about social networks is interaction. So the more questions you ask during the show or during the presentation, the better, and the more value you guys will be able to get out of it. All right. So if you've got any questions, just put up your hand, shout them out, and we'll take it from there. LinkedIn, social network, very business focused, and the actual goal is to connect the world and make everyone more successful. And through that, business deals, whether it's personal growth in terms of your career, whether it's creating business deals, or whether it's starting your own business and growing your business, LinkedIn is there to help you. All right? So in the past, people used to come out of varsity with their qualifications. They used to get a job by going through the whole interview process, uploading their CVs to various networks. Then they used to get the job, they used to go to trade seminars, they used to read the newspaper, they used to read trade magazines, and they used to educate and grow within the company. And that all happened on the left-hand side, within the company and within the role that you currently performed. LinkedIn's changing that. LinkedIn's changing the way we deal with and apply for jobs and grow our businesses and our opportunities. So you now have an opportunity to create a professional portfolio amongst yourselves on the platform. So it's updating your education, it's updating various projects that you've worked on, it's updating your school you went to, and it's updating the people that you've dealt with either at varsity or going into the business world and people you've met with along the way. The great thing is LinkedIn have a section called News Today. So with the information you have uploaded on your profile, they actually source content from the web and post it as a newspaper in your profile every single day. So for me, I'm in advertising, I'm in marketing, I'm in online media. So a lot of the content is sourced for me, and I don't have to actually actively go out and read different websites and articles and find that information. It's all pulled for me, so it saves me a lot of time. It aggregates it through an algorithm that uses my keywords within my portfolio. So it's great. The news comes to me and I don't have to go source it. And the great thing is it's mobile. So I own my own platform, my own profile on LinkedIn. If I resign from my job today and go work for someone else tomorrow, I can take all that intellectual property that I've earned and gathered throughout my career and move it on to my new employment. In the days gone by, all that intellectual property used to remain with the company that you work for. This is my profile on LinkedIn. You can see I've got a professional picture of myself. I posted interesting information around the opportunities on LinkedIn and who's using the platform, because what happens is I grow my connections, and I've got 800, doesn't show there, I've got 883 connections, and what I do is I try to educate them around opportunities on the platform. So I'm adding value to their day-to-day experience because I'm sourcing relative information from the web. This is what your newsfeed looks like. So all my connections are interacting on the platform on a regular basis. I can see what they're all up to, which is great. So if I've got a client and I see they've connected with a potential competitor, I go, well, all of a sudden, alarm bells ring. I need to phone that client and just see how they're going and check up and touch base and maybe take them for lunch. So let's just touch on LinkedIn and some of the reasons how it can benefit you. On Facebook, you've got friends. And on Facebook, you've got friends of friends and friends of friends of friends. And through that, you can potentially reach a massive audience. LinkedIn is exactly the same. So I've got my friends, I've got my fellow students, people I study with, my alumni, and then I've also got people I work with, my colleagues and my clients. That would be my immediate circle, which is called a connection. Through my connections, they have connections, and through their connections, they have connections. So this is an example. I said I've got 833 connections. That can potentially get me to reach 5.5 million people worldwide through my third degree of connections, which is extremely powerful. So let's say, again, keep it with me. I'm not happy with my current employment. I want to move on. So I start doing research online and through LinkedIn, and I can potentially reach a massive range of people to grow my career. 160 million people on the platform worldwide, and locally we've got 1.9 million people on LinkedIn. More importantly is how they're engaging on the platform. So these are worldwide stats. 100 million people are actively using it on a monthly basis. 1.6 billion page views. It means people are interacting on a daily basis, and not just once. They're reading many articles, they're looking at various people's profiles, and they're actively using the platform. And then searching LinkedIn, because there's so much content on each person's profile, and I'll get onto that in a bit more information now. The searching capabilities are so good. So I can do a search for the marketing manager of Brand House who looks after Heineken, and I can probably find the exact person I need to speak to, which is great for me because that's who I want to speak to. And I don't want to have to waste my time picking up the phone, phoning Joe Blogs over here, who's going to put me onto there because he thinks he knows someone that's working at Brand House. I can find that person straight away. Very powerful. And from a student point of view, the more information you have, so now I'm looking for an employee and I do a search on LinkedIn, the more information you have on your profile, the better I can find you. And the more serious I'm going to take you if you take yourself seriously. So a recommendation is like a referral on your CV. So chat to the guys that you've done projects with, chat to your professors, chat to anyone you've done an internship with, whatever, and ask them to recommend the work you've done. With that, your profile gets increased to 100%. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with SEO, search engine optimization. So let's say we're on Google and you want to do a search for the latest sports news, and you type in the Stormers try tally for 2012. Although it's not many, they're going to pull up the websites that are keyword targeted. So the website that's most relevant to you for that search will come up first. The same thing applies with your LinkedIn profile. When I do a search for an undergraduate student in marketing, and I type that in, the guy who has the most connections, the guy who has 100% profile, the guy who has recommendations will come up before the guy that doesn't have a picture, that doesn't have recommendations, and that has got a small network of people. Because he's more engaged on the platform, they reward you by prioritizing your name in a search. So there's a whole back-end algorithm that calculates who's more relevant to my search than who's not, and then it will rank you accordingly. There's a big audience out there, and you can search per country, per region, and it's really powerful. This is what an incomplete profile looks like. You can see there's no picture. They've updated the university they went to. There's a lot of information missing. So if Lindsay and I were in the same role, I would obviously be prioritized when a potential client or a potential colleague or employer did a search, I would appear before. This is that toolbar I told you about. Only 15% of her profile is complete. Yeah.
Is there a way to see how effective your profile is being? Like how many people have seen it, or how many pages?
Absolutely. Yeah. So there's insights. So I can actually see how many people have looked at my profile in the last 2 days, last 3 days, and then I can go through them, see what they are they potential clients, and then if they are, then I would want to make contact with them. So a client or a potential client might type in online media. My name, because I've optimized my profile, will come up first. They look at my profile, they see what I do because I've got a very clear job description, and maybe they're a bit shy or they don't have time to contact me. I'll then go back to them and contact them through LinkedIn and say, I noticed you looked at my profile, this is what I do, this is who I am, would you like to meet up? Stay connected with professionals. So with your news feed, you're able to see what your colleagues and your connections are doing on a day-to-day basis. So instead of having to pick up the phone and phone them every single day to see what they're up to, you can actually see what they're doing on the platform. You can see the connections they've made, you can see the articles they've read, you can see any change of their jobs, if they've got a promotion, if they've left the previous company. Preparing for interviews, when you're going for your first job interview, you know who's interviewing you as a person. You can actually go onto the platform, have a look at their profile, see maybe there's some connection or similarity about what you've done, and so maybe it's this, you guys attended the same university, and then it's just very clever and unique ways of bringing that into conversation. Well, it's manipulation, but it's manipulation in such a way that I benefit from it, and it's just being smart and proactive about it. So they've got nice apps on iPads and iPhones and Blackberries that you can use it on a mobile device, and you can take it wherever you go, so you don't have to be online all the time. More and more companies locally are getting involved in the platform, and they're forming what they call company pages. So if you're looking at doing research into, let's say you're in accounting and you want to potentially join Deloitte or Sanlam or whoever it may be, you're able to do research onto the company, and you're also able to see the employees within the company. So you're able to identify the correct people you need to speak to, whether it's a graduate program, recruitment, or whoever it may be. You're able to find the right people to speak to. It might sound arrogant, but LinkedIn is a great opportunity for you to rate yourself. So it's telling people, it's educating people what you're good at, why you're good at it, and showcasing your portfolio. So take it very seriously. It's a business platform. It's there to make you more successful. So take yourself seriously. It's worth the time and effort to upgrade and rate yourself. Obviously, you need to be accurate. You cannot make up things because you're going to get found out at the end of the day. So be honest, but be confident, so that when you walk into a job interview, you're on the front foot, and there's a good opportunity of converting that. You're also able to have group discussions, interacting with groups that are people of similar interest to you, whether it's architecture, whether it's accounting. There are groups for everyone. So whatever's relevant to you, you can interact with those groups. So you basically follow a group, and there'll be discussions within that group, and you can interact. I mean, they've got a very good thing where they actually have a weekly top influencer. So they show you who's engaging the most within that group. So if you guys are doing projects, personal projects or through Varsity, and you're looking at following some entrepreneurs or whatever it may be, log on to LinkedIn, find a group of entrepreneurs, ask them questions. The guys are very open and very willing to discuss their issues, their personal projects, and give you advice. It really is a useful tool. So increasing your social capital. On Facebook, you've got your mates, you've got your fan pages that you like to identify and relate to and interact with, whether they're running competitions or whatever it may be. You're gaining benefit out of having that relationship with the brand. So in times of change in terms of communication, so in the past, brands used to shout out a message. The consumer used to listen and say, oh great, I really like that brand, let me go purchase that product. Whereas times have changed, and with social networking, people are now able to speak back to the brand, and the brand has to interact. So they fundamentally have to change the way they're communicating on a day-to-day basis. Same with LinkedIn. LinkedIn's the opportunity for you to be your professional brand. You're able to educate your connections around what you think is relevant, what you think is insightful, and what you think can add value to the day-to-day benefits of your connections, and from that they can then interact back with you. And then we all come from different backgrounds, we're all studying different things. LinkedIn have designed and partnered with various applications that you can integrate into your personal portfolio that will help you benefit from it on an individual. So everyone's going to have a different objective. I put up a weekly presentation of my different platforms and different opportunities for clients, and it's a nice visual. So I've integrated SlideShare, which is a social sharing network for presentations and PowerPoints, and it's a nice creative way. So if you're an architect or if you're an artist, you would want to have a lot more visuals. LinkedIn, being a professional network, is not so much visuals, but they've got tools there that can help you benefit from that. Reid Hoffman, who's the author of this book and the co-founder of LinkedIn, he believes in investing in yourself is going to make you more successful. So take yourself seriously, spend the time and effort on the platform to grow your connections, to update your information, to make sure you've got a nice picture, and just be serious about it. It's a social network, but it's primarily focused on business. So research companies, don't be scared to put up your hand and ask companies questions. Companies all have content or community management strategies. So when someone interacts with them on the social networks, they need to know how they're going to interact back with you, that ultimately are going to achieve their goals in terms of social media and ultimately add value to your day-to-day experience so that you support the brand. So community management strategies are very important for a brand to have when it comes to social media. If you're trying to grow your career, I would make sure you're uploading relevant information that's going to add value and put you in a favorable light. And I'll open it to everyone to see, because ultimately the more exposure you get as a brand, the better opportunities you're going to have further down the line. So I only use 3 social networks. I've got Facebook, I've got LinkedIn, I've got Twitter. My Facebook profile is very separate. I do not share any information from my Facebook profile into my LinkedIn profile. My LinkedIn profile and my Twitter profile are a bit more business, well, obviously LinkedIn's very business focused. Twitter's a bit of social, but more business focused. So what I do is I often share information and content between my LinkedIn profile and my Twitter profile, but I will never post anything from my Facebook profile to my LinkedIn profile, or vice versa. I will never put LinkedIn information on Facebook, because my friends, to be honest, don't really care what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis from work. They make sure, they hope I'm happy and it's going well, but they don't really want to read my information I'm posting to clients. So it's each individual is going to have a different strategy and different objectives from their social media platforms. It's just important to have a comprehensive understanding of what you're trying to achieve from each platform.